And yeah, my man had me rolling on the soundboard, but the unofficial one, of course. What's going on, though, bro?
Good, man. Chilling. I put it like this. The dumbest reason I ever broke up with a chick or stopped talking to a chick, she was disrespecting my homeboy.
I was about to say something else.
No. She wasn't.
No. How did she disrespect your homeboy?
You met Jamar.
Yeah, shout out to my guy Jamar.
Jamar, he is good people, but Jamar always likes to joke. He likes to have fun, and Jamar makes he has like dry humor, but he also is stupid funny. And so I think she took that for ignorance and disrespect, and she thought I wasn't gonna catch it, and Jamar wasn't gonna catch it. But Jamar is in that situation where Jamar is one of those people, and it's annoying sometimes, but it's a blessing at another time. He's the type like, bro, if I know why we here, I don't care what comes my way. I will swallow it just so you can get what you got to do so we can get up out of here. So in that thing, he knew like, all right, you talking to this girl, messing with the girl, whatever the case may be, because I know that's why you're here. Even though she's disrespecting me, I'm just going to be like, all right, cool, whatever. I brush it off. So that's a blessing when it's cool. Yeah, but when you feel like, yo, you disrespecting my mans and he has every right to check your ass. Yeah. You know, it's annoying to me because I'm like, bro, go ahead. So then, I just had to let it go. Plus,
speak your piece.
Plus, man, she came to a house party one time. Let me tell y'all the real reason why I broke up with this chick. Shorty came to a house party one time, had not ate all day, got lit, threw up in my homeboy's sink, and then
this was going.
Then she left and then texted me when she was in her car like, you're not going to come home with me? I'm like, no, the party just started. It's 10 o'clock. How you show up lit and throw up and leave? And then you did in my homeboy's sink and nobody saw it. And so later we was like, yo, who threw up in the sink? And I was like, yo, this hoe.
First of all, how old were you?
I was at A&T up there. I wasn't, I was 20.
I was just going to say shout out to growth because I'm like, yo, who is this person that you're around, dog?
Bro.
Nah, we all had those days, though. I mean, you can't fault her, though. She was just living her best life.
She hit me up the day after I got married.
Oh, she's one of those.
She's what?
It should have been me.
Look, for everybody
but I'm happy for you, though. Be good, love. Future.
Look, shout out to all the ladies that hit you up the day after you get married. Y'all don't even give it a week, a month to breathe. Y'all don't even get it 24 hours. Y'all literally wake up the next morning. Listen, and they hit you with that dumb shit, and you just be like, yo, why? I haven't spoken to you in years. Matter of fact, I have your phone number blocked. I don't follow you on no socials. So now I'm getting a private message. I'm thinking it's some business. It's the day after my wedding. I'm like, whatever.
Hey.
And I look, and it's like, hey, I just wanted to render you a congratulations and say I'm happy. Yeah, using words that don't even match. And I'm like, bitch, if you don't get my DMs. But yeah.
She was on that GRE prep.
Look, man, I want to welcome everybody to the Paid in Exposure podcast. Sorry about last week. I don't know what happened. I think the studio was just booked. We gonna go with that.
Hey, the studio's been booked up. We gonna hand claps again. Yeah, like Nori in this bitch. Yeah, we gotta shout that out. Shout out my guy.
Listen,
I gotta work it out here.
It was funny because we were supposed to record yesterday and we had some bookings, and then me and Laws, we gonna get to yesterday.
We love bookings. Holler at us.
Absolutely.
Where's the link? You gonna drop that on the link?
Absolutely. The link has just dropped. So if you're listening to this on Spotify, just go to paidinexposure.com or shamirsdream.com and you can book the studio. It's a dope spot. I will be fair. Yeah. This is a dope spot. If you
vibe with us, come work with us.
Listen,
man.
You can come in here. We have tripods. We have lights. You just got to bring your own camera. We have mics for you. You can literally create content, whether you're trying to do reels, whether you're trying to do little short films, whatever the case you might be doing. You could be doing interviews. A couple of y'all are great speakers. This is the perfect place for you to charge people, whether it's $50 an hour, whether you want to charge them $100, whether you want to charge them $500, whether you want to charge them $1,000. You can come in here and charge people to interview them. You can clip the video. You can customize it for them, for their branding and things of that nature. If you need help with it, contact us. We will be more than glad to assist you. We'll let you get the space. Y'all can do what y'all got to do. And as long as the check clears, you are in the clear. I want to thank my bro for coming through. Laws. Laws is
appreciate
here.
You having my man.
Look,
I love every time I'm out here, bro. I appreciate you, dog.
I appreciate you too. Look, sometimes me or Laws have to get up out the studio because we be sitting in here laughing and shit, talking.
We be busy. That's what it is.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Busy. That's all it is.
We be busy. today is an interesting conversation. Before we even get started, y'all are upset with Annie Leibovitz. I'm not for sure. I might have butchered sis last name. Sorry about that. Y'all are upset again.
Don't go messing up Jewish people's last name, bro.
Absolutely not. Y'all will not cancel me.
No, sir. We cannot afford that.
And
like, Leibovitz, whichever one it is,
or however you would like to be referred to. Yes. Annie, Miss Annie.
Miss Annie, yes.
Look, that community don't play.
That was good. Yeah, Miss Annie.
Yeah. She has photographed our sister, our real sister. So, what's the sister's name, man?
The Supreme Court judge lady?
Yeah, Miss Jackson.
Sorry, Miss Jackson.
Listen, that's what should have been playing for this. Every time there's somebody important to shoot that Vogue wants to, I don't even know if this was for Vogue, but I'm assuming it was. But anytime it seems like there is, it is for Vogue, excuse me. Every time it seems like it's somebody important to shoot for Vogue, Miss Annie gets a phone call and she gets to shoot them. Every time she shoots somebody of color, Miss Annie gets to shoot them, and there gets to be a uproar from our people, our community. And not even sometimes just black folks, black photographers especially, but it seems like photographers. I rarely see like super praise, which is weird for me.
What? Go ahead.
But once again, she shot Miss Jackson, and Miss Jackson on the Supreme Court board bench. I don't know what
is it honor. Is it honorary? Like, is there a title we supposed to give her, or is it just Miss Jackson? I'm not trying to be funny, but
I mean, the honorable judge.
Judge.
We want to address you correctly.
Purposes, but
yeah.
We want to respect the lady highly, and then talk about the photographers. I was just trying to separate the.
One time, I wrote down my uncle's name as his first and last name, and his wife called me so quick, like, you put doctor in front of that. See, and she was serious about it. And I didn't get it at a young age. I'm like, well, I just know him as uncle.
Those doctor titles, but right. It's just uncle.
Yeah, it's just and she showed me.
Put that when it's a family, man. Jeez.
Yeah, and then as now I'm older, I realize what people got to do to get there and how hard they work and especially how much money.
Time, dedication. You're right. I'll give them that. Yeah.
And so, and then plus it was for something formal, but I didn't see that event as formal. I just saw it as whatever. And she was staying. But at that time, I was like, man, if you don't get this shit out of here,
bro, whatever.
Absolutely. But so
Supreme Court Justice Jackson.
Absolutely.
Okay, gotcha.
And so I'm looking at Annie, and everybody is upset. And I got tagged on Twitter. So let me put it like this. And shout out, because we gotta address her correctly. Shout out to him correctly, excuse me. His name is Carnegro. It is funny. He said Annie Leibovitz, always makes dark skin look ashy, and I would love for Vogue magazine to stop calling her for these assignments. Please stick to the forests and glaciers she's used to. Now that is
TLC.
Shout out to TLC. That's actually hilarious in itself. Like, this man came for it. And then shout out to B2O Photos, who tagged us yesterday and was like, I would love to hear your take on this. She stays true to her style, but her style is not always flattering to people of color. As a photographer, it seems like these teams are not researching photographers before signing off on them. All right. What is your response to B2O Photos?
Oh man, I'm so glad we got there, because I don't want to be in the controversial space, because art is subjective, but the direct correlation is it pay to play? Is it, you have to work in the industry long enough? Is it you have to make the right connections? Because it's not just being in the craft of photography or in the industry of entertainment or portraiture. I don't know, industry and craft these days. You know what I'm saying? There's really no distinguishment. Just like, I don't know, man. I don't know. The reason this is such a triggering thing is because every day as entrepreneurs, you're trying to figure out how to make your business better, who to connect with, who's going to propel things forward. And opportunities like this, that would be a great moment for, let's just say they reach out to Shamir's Dream and say, hey, we see that you do quality work. We see that you're very much into portraiture and capturing dynamic people from a variety of backgrounds, but you happen to be a melanated photographer. We have a melanated subject. How does that connection not to mention that's in DC, right?
Yeah.
So the populace in DC,
It's Chocolate City.
Thank you. Okay, cool. It's hard to figure out how that happens over and over again.
Absolutely. I guess my message, one of my messages to black folks is Vogue is going to call her every time. Yeah. It seems like it's a relationship there, right?
It's got to be.
It has to be. Because every time Vogue needs someone to shoot, they're going to get the famous photographer. And they're going to shoot the subject that makes sense for them. Yeah. And it's one of those things like, hey, if I'm connected to Charlotte Observer, we're going to get to them in a little bit. If I'm connected to them and they're doing something, it makes sense for them to call their photographer who they have a contract with. Right. I'm telling y'all this to say, I'm 99.9% sure that Annie has a contract with Vogue. Some type of thing where it's like, hey,
ongoing relationship.
Absolutely. But it might be one of those things like, look, you sign over certain rights here. We make sure you get X amount of money. Annie makes millions of dollars every year. I guarantee some of that. Who texts me? I guarantee some of that is with
important people problems.
Absolutely. Well, it's my sister. I guarantee you that money is with Vogue. Some of it is, excuse me. So when I see this, the way I look at it is, this would be an amazing opportunity, but it's going to take somebody like Beyonce, how she did it. And I'm going to give you a perfect example. Beyonce shot with Vogue. She said, I want a black female photographer shooting me. Vogue went and got it. It's going to take Simone Biles when she gets up there and say, hey, actually, I understand Vogue, y'all want to send Annie, but for me to be here, I need a black photographer.
Advocacy and representation.
Absolutely. And sometimes we got to stop being comfortable being welcome into spaces and just taking what they give us. And I'm going to give you, when I shot at the Light Factory, I remember, and I forgot her name, she's at the museum in Raleigh, and she said, a lot of times when you get invited to spaces, because A, they need you, or B, they want you. She said, whatever it is, you got to take that leverage and run with it.
Facts.
So sometimes, hey, Facts. Simone Biles might say, hey, this is my first time, it's Vogue, I don't know this space. And Simone Biles got to say, hey, well, who's shooting me? And when you see it's an older white woman walk in, you got to kind of look and say, hey, is there an opportunity for me to select a photographer? Even when your people is in that conversation, your people got to know that's important to you. Because I guarantee Beyonce people knew. They knew, hey, Beyonce people, when Vogue called Beyonce people, they knew that, hey, now I'm letting you know she's going to make sure it's a black photographer involved, like whatever. Now, somebody's looking and saying, well, Beyonce got the leverage. Yeah, but they either wanted Beyonce or they needed Beyonce. It's up to y'all to decide which one they need. They either needed Miss Jackson, or they wanted her to be there. So she has some leverage there. And Simone Biles the same way.
A nerve-wracking question I have is that how many people in those positions, not to say that there aren't a fair share, do you think are even aware or present of mind enough to know and ask for things like that? Risking their reputation or whatever. I don't know, bro. Devil's advocate, of course.
Absolutely. No, I mean that's kind of going to the next spot. Is like, yo, are you welcomed here or are you tolerated here? And I really want to do that.
We have to build our own. Sorry.
Absolutely.
That's the only solution to what you
That's
said.
The only solution, bro. Because when I look at it, I say, maybe Simone Biles don't have the cachet to go up in there and put her dick on the table and say, yo, I'm requesting a black photographer. And then sometimes Simone Biles have to look at, and it's hard to say that to a young lady, especially women. Women already have it hard enough, especially women of color. This is one of those times where y'all can't call me misogynistic, even though y'all might throw it in right now just because I sprung it up. But this is one of those times where I absolutely understand and absolutely agree. This is the time where you say something and they say, hey, you're aggressive, you're a hard woman to work with, simply because you're a black woman requesting something, right? And they're going to label you angry and things of that nature. This is also that time when you go to Essence. This is when you got to support BET. You got to support Essence. You got to support Ebony. You got to kind of figure out if Jet's still around. You got to figure out, like, hey, where are those black spaces at where, hey, since y'all won't give me that, I'm only going to shoot here. Most people don't know Michael Jordan never worked with Sporting News again. I think it was Sporting News. Don't quote me on that. Because they came out with the story about him shooting. They came out with the story about him having a son on the side. He had a side baby. And no other publication reported on it. When
I
they
knew
were
how sensitive it was to such a high profile individual.
absolutely, and then at that time, you wasn't doing that. Once you was married, like people stayed away from your family because they knew it was off limits. Now they don't give a damn. Ball alert, shade room gonna find you. Right. But he's never worked with them since. We're talking about something that happened in his 20s or 30s, whatever. And you're talking about this man is close to 60 now. They have not worked together since. Imagine being that magazine and it's the reason why they're not with the Sports Illustrated. They wasn't with the Slims. It's because he said no to them because of this one mistake y'all made. All right. So I'm looking at it and saying, do you get comfortable? Can Vogue, if Vogue says, hey, we can't get any other black folks, Hispanic folks to come in because we don't have black people on staff. And this is the other thing before we go to the next part about creating our own spaces. I looked at everybody crazy, and I know I said this last year, so I want to reiterate it. Y'all really went out there and made Vogue covers.
Bro, I was just thinking this. Golly.
And y'all did Vogue covers, and y'all did the Vogue covers.
Print, copy, and font. Like,
listen. And the reason why that became a thing, and the reason why Vogue made it a thing, is because they was getting criticized about from the LGBTQ plus community, and they was getting criticized for not promoting black people within their organization. And so with that, they started the Vogue cover. So somebody started and was like, oh, well,
Was it a challenge or something?
Yeah, it became a challenge. But Vogue, Vogue could have shut that down. Hey, that's trademark.
So much, man.
Bro.
And no one got challenged on it.
Nobody got challenged on it because Vogue knew what was coming down the pipeline. And that got buried under all the Vogue covers. And so now we look like idiots because we buried this whole thing of, hey, they really don't promote and showcase and hire black people as they should, allegedly. And now it gets buried under, hey, here's all these black people that's showing that, hey, I can shoot for Vogue. Look at this. And they still ain't hired y'all ass.
Nope.
I'm just saying that's the interesting part. Now.
Wow. Do we come up with our own publication or something? Sorry, go ahead.
That's where we got to go to next because that's the fix on this. I would love, bro, I don't know if me and you talked about, we did talk about this. When Kurt Franklin was on the BET Awards and he said something super important, he said, he was talking about church, and I'm not finna religion y'all out because I don't argue. Laws, no, I don't argue nobody about religion.
No,
it's one of my topics. I ain't here to argue about religion. I argue about music and sports, even though those two should be off topic too. But religion, I would never. And I don't argue racism.
I try not to argue, even though people will say I'm an argumentative individual.
Oh, I'm definitely am. Kurt Franklin said something super important when he got up there. He said, too many people are dying with the baton instead of passing it.
Yes, we talked about that because I completely agree. We are in Charlotte, North Carolina. We are the prime example for some bullshit like that.
And so I say that to say, too many of these old school photographers who still are getting booked, they busy and they making money. Like I said, Annie makes millions. I'm not mad at her. But someday Annie needs to look over, and maybe she is, and I just don't know. I'm not made aware of it. She has to look over and say, yo, let me pass the baton instead of dying with it. Sue Bryce, maybe she is. I don't know. Y'all need to stop paying her team to freaking critique y'all pictures, by the way, but that's a whole nother subject. That is a great scam in itself. That is a great scam. To pay somebody $25 to critique my photo and they team do it, and then they just say, hey, it was either a bronze, silver, or gold, or nothing. I wonder if you get your money back if they say, hey, it wasn't good enough to be graded.
Great scam. Genius scheme.
Yeah, I love it. I'm not even mad at her about it. But anyway, I wanted to
keep falling for that thing, boy.
Look, next year I'm gonna be laughing. But I wonder, do y'all look at it and say, yo, Sue Bryce, are you gonna die with the baton or pass it? You know what I'm saying? I forgot my man that was overseas. He do the high flash, the hard flash, off camera flash thing, and he did like the famous Rita Ora picture. But anyway, I forgot my man's name. Do you die with the camera? Do you die with that baton, or do you pass it? That's what I want to know. So when I look at it, I'm looking at black photographers, and it's a lot of dope people of color that shoot. And I want them to be, we got to create those spaces for us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at other black folks that's out here, the photo cookout is coming up. Who going to that? You know what I'm saying? Who is going on Black Shutter podcast? You know what I'm saying? Are we supporting those things? Even me, I've reached out to those places and wanted to know, like, yo, what's up? How can I help? How can I hop on? But it's one of those things, like, we do have to learn to collab in the right way. We do got to learn to support the right way, because if not, then Miss Brown can be able to say, actually, this organization, Black Female Photographers Organization, there's a photographer in there. I would love for you guys to go do that.
I'm going to ask you a question. This is some super hard devil's advocate here. Why do you care so much about advocating for, promoting, awareness and I guess promotion, the hiring of more photographers, more Black photographers, like so adamantly? You know what I'm saying? Like, who's to say there's a greater number of? Are there a greater number of photographers out there? Like, I know we have this podcast. I know that there's lots of creators out there. Like, why are you so passionate about it? Because obviously, what we're talking about is that, and how not too many photographers who are out in front of us are doing just that, passing the baton. You know what I'm saying? So why do you find that to be important at all?
The reason why I find all of this important about hiring our own and making sure that we looking out and supporting each other is because it's already not enough of us in certain spaces.
Okay.
There's this notion of crabs in a barrel mentality, and as you keep going up, you realize it's really even more true up there.
Really real.
And up there, they don't call it crabs in a barrel. They just call it gatekeepers.
There you go. Uh-oh.
Right? Like, that's what they call it. Look, nobody don't want to have that conversation about the gatekeepers. The gatekeepers are saying, hey, I work for New York Fashion Week. How many Black photographers are in here, right? I look at it, and I'm just making assumptions. Nobody take this the wrong way. I would love to know if the people behind Nori and Gilly podcast are Black. I'm going to assume they are. How many Black photographers are getting hired by Revolt? How many Black photographers? We talked about Kevin, why it's super dope to praise him at Netflix. He's working on a Netflix film. Maybe they come to Kevin and be like, yo, if we support Kevin, maybe Kevin becomes on the board at Netflix. Yeah. And we see what happens. I guarantee you A&T film program changes. Yeah. Overnight. You know what I'm saying? So when I look at it and I look at why we supporting, because me and you have both been in those places where we've, in our career, a lot of us, especially people of color, we've been in that career of, hey, I need white dollars. Yeah. And then somehow you circle around, and sometimes you come to find out sooner than later, the sooner you figure this out, the better your life becomes. That black dollars spend just as well, and they come quicker. And so sometimes I look at it and go, if we support, then Black people automatically know, Black customers can know, hey, I can come here and feel safe. I know they're going to do me right. I know they're going to work with me. And it's not that I'm looking for a discount, but I want to feel comfortable when I walk in the room. Oh, my God. That's so crazy. And so I look at it and say, yo, why can't, me and you are two photographers. We work with each other every day. Yeah. Yeah. Me and you don't shoot the same thing. Nope. You know what I'm saying? But it's never one of those things where, hey, I can't support him, even if we did. Right. Right. You know what I'm saying? It'd probably just be more business if that. Absolutely, because then it can become, hey, Gavin, what you doing on Saturday? Nothing, lost. Why, what's up? Hey, I got 2 shoots I can't do. Can you do this for me? And I know you're going to do a great job, and I know I feel comfortable with giving you this gig because I know you're going to do me right. You're not going to go there and undercut me and tell them, like, yo, I can work out side deals with you. No. Right, right. I think not even to round out, but to I'll just talk about my own personal experience, right? And where I am as far as transitions are concerned. I think the biggest thing with photographers, and maybe it's a regional thing here in Charlotte, but I think it's a lot broader, right? I think it's a nationwide, worldwide thing, whatever. We have to realize where we are and what time we're in, you know what I mean? And the society that we live in is capitalistic. What that means is something that you talk about often, bro, and I appreciate you sharing that gem regularly because it reminds me of the simple facts. As I can look around this space and see how artistic, how creative, how inspiring the space is, right? And that's really motivational. You can't go out being a starving artist. Therefore, if that's simply the facts of the matter, we can get past now the artistry and the creative. You have to be about your business. Absolutely. You know, and what you're speaking about is being dependable and being reliable. You know what I mean? Being accountable, all those things which are important in operating a business, and that's who greater entities are going to be, going to and looking for. And that's what allows and sets people up to be able to be partners or, taken seriously, to be able to be in those spaces and in those rooms. And a lot of times what I see is
and that's why I have to say from my own personal experience, it's been a hard transition as far as being this artist and being creative, having the eye versus saying, hey, I know and I have the confidence that I have the eye. Now I need the business to correlate with that.
And this kind of
Set
goes
the price
to
and live your life.
What's accountability, right?
Yeah.
Who is holding you accountable in this space? Who is holding you accountable in this business?
That's huge.
Because 2 pods ago, or might have been last pod, right? I came back from Vegas.
Yep.
Off mic, I told you the real shit about what happened in Vegas, right? Money spent, money lost, money I will never see again.
Yeah.
Money, spending $300 in Ubers alone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And to think about it, anybody that's gone to Vegas, they know the strip ain't nothing but, it's a few miles long. So you spending too many days there. I spent too many days there, too much money. So I spent $300 some in Ubers. And you fast forward to, what if I told you all that and I come back and say, yo, bro, next month I'm going again? You would be looking at me like, wait a second, Gavin, you got all these projects going on. We've been talking about this business. Are you caught up? And so me and you did have that conversation, because I believe that there's this beauty of the starving artist that gotta die.
I feel
because nothing's cool, nothing's cute, nothing's dope about being a starving artist. That I'm so married to my art that I'm willing to live on the street. I'm willing to not have nowhere to go. I'm cool with people running off on my money. Everybody, I don't care who you are. And y'all can stop the lies.
You cannot support, influence, nor love properly as a starving artist. Go ahead.
That part. But then also, we've all been there where we've got some work, we've done some work, and we were waiting on the back end of our money.
Yeah.
We've all dealt with clients who you get done with their pictures and they like, oh, I'm going to send the money over. I'm going to send it right over.
Right.
And right over turns into a day,
Lingering.
2 days, 3 days. And it's annoying.
Yep.
Especially when your baby needs to eat, especially when rent is due in a couple of days, especially when you need some gas, especially when you plan on going out of town. Let's say you got all that shit right, and you like, yo, I'm about to go hang out with the boys, I'm about to go hang out with the girls, whatever, and then you waiting on this money because that's going to make your night that much better. Or for the simple fact, let's say it's none of that. Hey. Let's say you just comfortable. Hey, look.
I dig that hypergamy that Mike was talking about. Shout out to the Black Dads podcast, bro.
Shout out.
You gotta get your bread. People without they just don't respect you in the same type of light. That's just the truth.
And that's why it goes to this thought. Speaking of Mike always tells me, yo, financial freedom has to be the goal.
Yes.
Because when you get the goal, I don't have to worry about it. So when I look at it, I always ask photographers, who is gonna keep you accountable? Because me and you have had a conversation. Me and you have been in here
Tough
from
conversations, 8.
Absolutely. We've been in here from 8 to 5. And then at night, I text you something. But like, yo, we got to talk about this. You know what I'm saying? Because I think it's dope. But it's also, I know you look at me and you're like, yo, what are you doing? What are you working on? Have you finished this? Are you still working on that project?
You did your financials? What that look like exactly? Show me. Oh, dang. Okay.
Look, because shout out to Designs by JK. And I mention bro all the time. I got 3 people that keep me in line.
Get you some marathon runners.
Look, I got laws that keep me in line every day. I got my homeboy, shout out to Will. I can't even give y'all his Instagram name because that'll be his full government. But shout out to my homeboy Will. He know what it is. He keeps me in line pretty much every other day. But he's like the older cat that just keeps me in check. He's talking to me about, business, but also being a dad, also being a husband. And then also shout out to JK, because I remember JK pulled me. Shout out to JK. Hold on.
You still gotta get to that Charlotte Observer, baby, but shout out to JK.
We're gonna get to that.
What's up?
And I say this about JK. I remember sitting there, and I remember JK said, "Come to the studio early." First of all, I ain't thought me and JK wasn't gonna ever speak again, but that's because I texted the wrong Jonathan, and I was just going off. But I was talking about basketball, and I was like, this dude ain't gonna never answer my text again. And so anyway,
playing on my phone.
Look, basically what I figured he was gonna be saying. But shout out to JK, because I remember JK said, yo, come before your shoot, come a little bit earlier. And I didn't know what that meant. And I came there and he sat down with me. He said, I see you going down a path that you can't go down.
Respect.
And the path that he told me I was about to go down, bruh, I was definitely going for it. And he said, you gonna miss too much time with your son if you go down this path. You need to slow down, pump your brakes. And it was tough to hear that. And it was scary to hear that. Nothing scarier than when somebody who don't really know you like that tells you exactly what you're about to do.
Because they can see your pattern.
And he said, I see what you're about to do. And he was right. And it made me stop. It made me sit back. It made me chill. It made me, honestly, it made me go back home and spend more time with my boy. Because
I look forward to diving into that one day, bro, because I know it's a heap of...
It was a heap of a lot.
Things that were happening at that time. But, bro... Yeah,
you knew my life was shifting at that time.
Yeah, bro. But to see the outcome of the shift is, absolutely. Man, we gotta get into that one day. But keep going.
But it took somebody holding me accountable, looking at me, whether he meant to do it or not. But ever since that day, my view of him changed. It shifted. You know what I'm saying? I started looking at the way he interacted with his sons.
Yeah,
he might not know that. But I started paying attention more to his Instagram. He might not know that. A lot of people I used to follow and I would mute them. He wasn't one of them. But a lot of people I would do that because I see so much of your stuff. But I used to always wonder why he don't post a lot. But then I was like, all right, let me go check. Because the algorithm, you know how they do. Yeah. So I had to start doing that. But it made me realize like, yo, am I handling my family right? You know what I'm saying? I kept wondering why he keep posting something about braiding. And I'm like, who is this? Now I look and I'm like, oh, it's his wife. Now I'm seeing how he promoting his wife's stuff. Okay, so cool. My wife is having something at her job. I need to go promote that because I'm paying attention to how he do that. Shout out. If you ever need knotless braids, I know the girl. She's amazing. Look, you need to get on her wait list. Shout out. This is not an ad, but it could be. If Miss K Brady needed, you know, she want to drop her ad here, I got her. Anyway,
we're not too shy for the humble plugs.
Look, but it was one of those things where, so I now look at other photographers because laws have heard me complain about.
Change your whole outlook, and I love the fact that it changed your personal, but
get somebody to hold you accountable. That's what I'm trying to get at.
I feel that
because Laws has been here and he's been around long enough.
Yeah,
I guess now is a good time to let everybody know that Laws been around longer than what y'all think. And we've been talking longer than what y'all think. But it's been times where I hit up Laws like, yo, I was just trying to assist bruh and help bruh or help sis. And Laws like, why? And it was some of that, I want to hold somebody accountable. Boy, help them, really. Accountability is nothing but you trying to help. If you
Facts. If you care.
If you care.
Yeah.
Because if you out here and you being an asshole, then you're not holding nobody accountable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Really only concerned with self. You're not checking on anybody. You don't, bro. And you've never been that way, so let's identify that first. Like, when I first met you, it was just really, yo, what can I, how can I didn't even know I could help you, that type of thing. But literally, after seeing the JK, the first thing you always talked about, after the meeting with JK, after the meetings, of course, over time with JK, you talked about, the family life and the personal, and more so slowing down and being more intentional with your time in the family way. But, bro, it's nice to get to talk about it now because I don't even think I've really talked about it till I even identify it. But bro, like what you're doing for other creatives, because it's not just photographers anymore. That's what's insane. You got to see that too. It's not just photographers anymore. This is a photography podcast, but this is a podcast studio, and it's open for a variety of creatives who don't even know how to work a camera. Yeah. And so to be able to do that, bro, that talks about authenticity. It talks about your level of intention and, like I said, growth, because JK took you under his wing. Bro, what people have to realize is that sometimes in our lanes, in our industry, in our craft, by how we move, by what our business just organically grows out to be, our wings are a bit broader than what we may think.
Absolutely.
So we can bring a variety of people under, so long as they're giving us air under those wings to keep going as well.
Absolutely.
You can't just have a leech around you, know what I mean?
You can't.
Identify that. But yeah, I just wanted to, huge shout out. Huge shout out to my guy with the studio, Shamir's Dream.
Look, man.
Pen exposure, baby.
And it's one of those things like me and you sitting here and it's every day. Yeah. Lost what you're working on. Having what you're doing. And it's one of those things you pushing, but I understand that there might be a day where I need Law's help.
Yeah.
I need his assistance. But I'm doing it because I want to see him grow, because it's nothing doper than Law saying, hey, I'm doing production for the news. I'm doing something for CNN. I'm doing something on Hulu. I'm doing something for Spectrum. I'm doing something for the Hornets or Panthers.
We got to be going.
And
that's where we're going.
Look, it's no way that I still sit here still doing what I'm doing 5 years ago. Because if Laws is doing that, then I got to look at myself like, did I miss something? And then I also imagine, shout out to Rich Paul. If you don't know who Rich Paul is, he met LeBron James. In an airport, and LeBron James said, where did you get that throwback jersey from? Now, LeBron James is 16. Rich Paul is, I think, 19 or 20, somewhere in his early 20s. They literally pass each other in the airport. Most people get it confused and thought they played basketball together. That's not true. They met. I think they went to the same school, and Rich Paul did play basketball, but it wasn't when LeBron was there. But they met in passing. And as a 20-year-old, if you got this 16-year-old asking you about a throwback jersey, it's easy to brush him off.
Yeah, easy.
But Rich Paul said, no, here's my number. Let me know. I got you. Now, is that his foresight being better than his hindsight? Maybe, knowing that, hey, this guy is soon to be a star. I need to stay in his good graces. Yeah, I can hook him up. But I don't think you stay around as long as Rich Paul has, if you know that.
No.
If he's just there to leech and carry. But no, what happened? Rich Paul is with LeBron. LeBron say, hey, I will sign to you, Nike, if my boy can follow around.
That's
my
how you gotta move,
my agency, I will stay here if my boys can follow around. So now we're looking at LeBron's worth $1 billion and Rich Paul is worth, $100 million, whatever it is, dating Adele, buying a home out in Cali. That doesn't happen if he just brushes LeBron off, keep passing in the airport. So that's how I look at relationships. If I feed into you, if I pour into you, we both should grow.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And if we growing in different areas, because me and you always look at it as like, yeah, I mean, I know we're going everywhere on this, but it's one of those things where if I'm looking around and I'm saying photography shouldn't be my only source of income around here, right? We rent out studio space.
There we go.
I'm selling T-shirts from time to time. I need to get better. Henry, I'm going to get you a bigger shirt. Henry was mad because the shirt was a slim, and then he was like, bruh, Henry like 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah.
So he was like, bruh, he did send me a picture of his shirt. That shit was small as hell, bro.
Oh, my God.
He was hot.
You got to get him in an extra tall.
Hey, look, I got to get him. That's his fault. You better go get a tall tee out of Foot Locker. So I'm asking, just to put a button on this, is like, yo, find somebody, have them to keep you accountable.
Yeah.
Please do that.
Absolutely.
All right. Speaking of.
My fault. I got us off topic. I do that time to time, guys.
Oh, nah. You are totally fine. Before we get out of here.
Did we unpack this, Charlotte Observer?
That's what we're going to right now.
Oh, man. Oh, I'm glad we saved this for last. It's great. Okay.
Charlotte Observer recently released their Charlotte's Best.
Shout out to all the amazing photography and photography companies on the list.
Absolutely. We're going to get that out the way before we bash them. Nah, I'm playing. Oh.
Shout out to them.
But no, shout out to some people on here, man. Shout out to, Lisa Yvette is on here.
Yeah.
Michael Lobadio.
Lobiando. Yeah.
Oh, that's how you said it? Oh, my fault. He's right next door to JK. That's how I know.
Oh, okay.
That's he is.
That's what's up.
Shout out to Priscilla Green. I definitely know who she is. And shout out to, I'm trying to see if I know anybody else.
Ariel Perry.
Perry. Shout out to her. Yeah. And Charlotte Vibe Photography. Shout out to Chris. Okay. Chris is mad cool. Chris is cool.
Word.
I'm gonna say that Chris is cool. Chris is older. Me and Chris' son are like a few months apart, and so it was funny while his wife was pregnant and Karina was pregnant. We was literally going through this journey, just comparing notes, and it's cool when you have another person to compare notes with. I'm not even gonna kill y'all on the black dad stuff. Go listen to that pod for that. But it's cool when dads are able to connect and be like, yo, you going through this, you going through that, you see this. Anybody that has a newborn child, I'm going to tell you this. Your first argument is going to be where your kid is going to spend holidays at, who can come to the house, and first birthdays. I'm going to just go ahead and throw that out there now. Y'all better look, the sooner you can address those issues, the quicker they won't be issues. I'm going to leave it like that.
Fair enough.
Because where that baby is going to spend the holidays at, unless both of y'all just agree it's going to be at our house, that's going to be the greatest argument. And then also, who can come over to the house when it's time. And fellas, you lose the battle every time.
Every time. So just don't argue.
Don't even argue. It ain't even necessary.
Don't be passive either, but
please don't be passive.
The biggest thing is knowing how to navigate conversations, conflict resolution, big things. Lots of things I've been learning, you know what I mean?
Look, learning is growth. Alleged. I think that's how it's supposed to
be. Learning is growth. We'll go with that. That's cool.
And and also Designs by JK is on there. I already talked about JK, so y'all already know who I voted for. Yeah. Actually, I only got to vote twice because I forgot, and it's supposed to end today. So I got to vote for Charlotte Vibe and Chris, and I got to vote for JK. And I think this morning, I think I voted for JK again. Anywho, and I think I know Carol Ann Ryan Photography. First of all, a lot of photographers, if we're going to go straight up, it's 8, hold on, 8, another 15, 17. It's almost like 25 photographers on here. What is your first interaction looking at this list? First thoughts, excuse me.
First reaction, first thought. How do you get on there? Is this really an accomplishment? What type of credibility or clout comes with this? It is the Charlotte Observer, and I think it's an amazing accomplishment. I guess you get a glass trophy or whatever. I just question what is the I don't want to downplay the craft. It's just more so my ignorance and lack of knowledge of what's the point, so to speak. Because are they going off of how much money you made? Are they going off of who you're shooting? Are they going off of what experience you provide when you're shooting? And if so, then, I just have a lot to learn from all the people who are on the list. That's pretty much what I see from my first reaction. For yourself, I learned a lot from you, and I think you're a pretty dope photographer. I don't think I saw you on there, though.
Nah, you missed it.
You didn't nominate
it was invisible.
Yourself. I didn't nominate it. It's my fault. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. But congratulations on opening your new studio, though. Go ahead.
Thank you. Look, the shade.
What?
No, I thought you've been shady for them. Not towards me. Towards
I don't throw any shade at all. Oh, I gave high praises.
A photographer on the list sent this to me, and they were just like, a photographer on the list. And no, it wasn't JK. I'm gonna leave it like that.
There you go.
There's another photographer. I know a third or fourth of the list.
That's what happens when you're out here for 10 years plus.
Oh yeah. That is what happened. I've been shooting since 2008. I'm gonna just put it like that.
Drop them subtle gems.
Yeah.
Subtle flex.
6 years. We're gonna do a 20
subtle
year.
Flex.
We're gonna do a 20-year shit, and it's gonna be fun.
Yes, sir.
I hope you're invited.
Yes, sir.
Let me put it like this.
Tap in.
When I saw the list, I was happy for a lot of people. The people I named, I was happy for. The person who sent it to me, I was happy they was on the list.
Yeah.
And I looked at the list. I wasn't looking to see if I was on there because I understand that I understand what happens when I don't shuck and jive in certain circles.
What we call politics. Go ahead.
Absolutely. I don't play those games. And sometimes that's fun and it's cool and it's liberating. And then sometimes it sucks because certain spaces you should be in.
Yeah.
I've been brought in to kiss ass, to be led in certain circles. I've literally text Laws after each one. So, bro, let me tell you where I just left from and what you think this was. And Laws hit me with oh, you didn't kiss the ring, bro. You were supposed to kiss it right there.
Kiss the ring.
You got to. And I have a problem with doing that because I have a problem if I don't know who you are and I come in and I'm brought in to kiss the ring. I have a problem with kissing the ring because I don't know you. Right. And I don't disrespect you. I just don't know you. So I have to figure out why I'm there. So with that being said, when I saw the list, I was there. No matter what the list is, I don't care if it's this award. I don't care if it's QC Nerve. Shout out to them. I don't care if it's Charlotte Fashion Week. I don't care if it's...
What's the other one, bro? What's the other one?
Queen City Awards.
Queen City, yeah, that's the best one.
I promise not to talk about y'all again.
Queen City Awards. Shout out to y'all.
Shout out to y'all. Let's do it like that. Because I think they nominations just closed. My thing is always going to come up. My thing is always going to land on this. Who's voting? How are they voting? How was people nominated? Is this something where the people can nominate? Fan voting is what it is. It's a popularity contest. I understand that. And it's also, hey, if the artist can promote, then we'll get more pubs. So I understand why fan voting is cool. It's a reason why the Grammys and the Oscars get more play than, like, let's say, the Nickelodeon Awards where it's fan votes. Fan votes is cool because the fans want you, but also that's nothing but marketing dollars, digital dollars, whatever. It's a reason why. So I always discredit those. They get discredited first. Then I look at who's voting. Is there a board? Is it, yo, kiss the ring, you get on here, you get accepted, we'll make sure you win? Or is it one of those things like, hey, Gavin, we'll send you this award, and next year we're going to text you to see if you can work for free?
Ooh, that never happened to you before.
I think I'm getting set up for it right now.
Dang.
So I'm always questioning that. And then kind of like what I always see is, what's the board? Sometimes the board get played.
Yeah.
We got played. This podcast got played before. I've seen people, we did an award. Everybody knows we did the photography award. And, what we learned of that is not everybody photographers. That's why I preach this whole notion of, are you a photographer? Are you a poser? Because sometimes people will come up in here and they'll play the game and they'll kiss several rings. They just a ring kisser, right? And then you get to the end of the line and then you start researching these people and, I'm not a photographer. I'm actually a poser. So I'm actually an editor, or I'm a creator, or I'm a, stylist, but I know how to work a camera. I'm a makeup artist and I just know how to work a camera, and I put myself in all these awards. I kiss enough ass and here we are.
It's cool to say I'm a photographer right?
Absolutely.
You're just saying, don't be like, I'm a photographer, video.
No, my
makeup.
thing is, I'm a makeup artist. I hate to do that because it seems like I'm singling somebody out.
I'm a full-time marketing agent, and
you know what?
I'm a hobbyist photographer, and I shoot for free.
Absolutely. And guess what? I'm going to send out, because I know how to market so well, I'm going to send this out to every publication, let them know I'm a photographer. And now I'm known as this famous photographer. And what I'm really doing is just using that funnel to circle everybody back to my marketing. That is literally being done.
Yeah.
And that might seem like I'm singling out somebody, but she ain't the only one either. Or, you know what?
Well, that's quite a few hobbyists out there, bro. I've learned.
It's hobbyists who are using photography as a way to funnel people to what they really trying to sell you. That's all I'm basically trying to get at. So when I saw this list, it's fan voting. It is what it is. May the best man or woman win, the best photographer win. I know who I voted for. I know bruh is amazing. And fuck that photographer on there who set me up that's on that list.
Yikes.
Sis, you know what you did, and it's a reason why you've been blocked, banned, and everything. Dang. You can stop reaching out.
She don't know how to get down, bro.
Yeah, she tried it.
Oh, that's tough.
Y'all gonna stop. Laws asked me earlier,
that's tough.
How do we get to this point? Why do we feel comfortable in this point of why you feel like promoting people of color especially and elevating them? It's because of people like Shorty who I reach out to, and it's like, how about you pay me? How about you pay me to educate you? Cool. I'm down with that. Excuse me. Let me put it like this. I asked Shorty, can you educate me? How much that cost? What does that look like? And then it was like, no. Then it was like, hey, now, Gavin, I can benefit from you. So how about I come while you're doing something and I teach you and educate you? No, that's not what we signed up for. I'm not going through this process to work now. I still got to work? No, I'd rather work when it's not my situation, my scenario where you can benefit from. But I let that slide. And then it turns into, hey, Gavin, me reaching back out, say, hey, can I get some assistance? Can you point me in the right direction for this? And then you send me down a whole nother path. And when you could have just said no.
Shiesty, man.
Yeah, so I seen sis on the list, and I was like, man, you're a cornball, but whatever. Yeah. Anyway, what you got going on this weekend?
Oh, man. Got a wedding to shoot.
Okay. Get that wedding.
A few other engagements. Yeah. My main focus is on the wedding, but a few other engagements as well. Just staying busy and active, producing a couple of podcasts.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Now, you do understand every time on this podcast, when we come back on after a wedding, whether we attended a wedding, we shot a wedding, we do a wedding recap where we talk about what we noticed as a wedding photographer, what could have been done better. And not necessarily to bash the bride or groom, but just to say, I was here. I should have got there an hour early, whatever. So we're going to be expecting that the next time you're on a podcast about this wedding.
Oh, for sure. I imagine always an experience, and it's always something to learn and bring back to the table to share. So
you got anything? Photographers need a tip from you today. It don't even have to be photography related. It can be life related. What you got? Come on, Laws. Laws is always deep. While Laws is thinking of that, I'm encouraging everybody, please check out No More Pie by Gavin B. Please make sure you follow Jam Laws Production. Make sure you follow I Am Gavin B on Instagram.
Definitely.
Support, man. Send this to 3 photographers. I'm encouraging everybody to do that. Just 3. Just tag 3 photographers.
Ain't even got to be a photographer, matter of fact. There's, people...
A creative.
People pick up cameras every day, B. Your phone is a camera.
Send it to 3 people.
Them, you know what I mean?
What you got for them, Laws? Close us out.
My favorite, I think it's by Aristotle, Know Thyself, right? So to know thyself is simply to have an understanding of who you are. No one can tell you otherwise who you are, but for self, always be willing to grow and evolve. I won't say change, but always be willing to grow and evolve. Put yourself in spaces and environments that allow for that. And that's all. Know thyself.
Look, and with that, we're gonna holler at y'all next time.
Yeah.